Hello and welcome to STL TV. I'm Mariah Dixon.
And I'm Daniel Hartman. Today we have some special programming coming to you from the interns here at STL TV.
That's right. We have been working here at the station over the last few months, gaining skills, making connections, and just generally trying to make ourselves useful.
Then we got this project and realized just how little we actually knew. This show is our attempt at making it in the real world, and we can't promise that no interns were harmed in the making of this show.
And we don't just mean physically, so stay tuned and watch us attempt to be professional. Welcome back to the show. St. Louis is a special city, but you probably already knew that. It never hurts to be reminded. Today's program will take a look at some of the aspects that make St. Louis such a vibrant and historical city, while also celebrating the present.
Recently, the interns were talking and trying to plan out this show. It was suggested to me that I didn't know as much about food as I thought I did.
That's correct, Daniel, and I have the Snapchat videos to prove it. Because of Daniel's lack of education about soul food, I figured I'd share my favorite place to eat at. Miss Robbie is the owner of Sweetie Pies, and everything she has there is delicious. My favorite thing to get from there is the peach cobbler. I would recommend it to anyone who has experience of what real soul food is like.
Thank you for showing everyone just how much I had to learn. Every St. Louisan knows about emos and toasted raviolis. We tried to go deeper and find out some lesser-known tidbits and facts about the city and its food traditions.
St. Louis has a couple of traditions that are not well known in other cities, which is what makes this city unique. Depending on if you are in the mood for American, Italian, or Chinese food, there's something to satisfy every taste bud.
Being from St. Louis, I've tried most of the native foods. Since you're from Chicago, what was the first St. Louis style or St. Louis only food that you tried when you got here?
So one of the first St. Louis foods that I tried once I got here was the gooey butter cake, and I loved it. But I also tried a St. Paul that my family insisted, and it was disgusting.
Well, that sounds about right. Opinion on the St. Paul sandwich seems to be split around the city as well as with the interns here at STL TV. I personally love gooey butter cake, and I'm not sure that I know a single person that doesn't.
You know, Daniel, I wouldn't mind grabbing a piece of gooey butter cake right about now.
Wouldn't that be a treat? But St. Louis style pizza is another treat that St. Louisans may not know has its own personal style.
That's right, Daniel. We all enjoy a good square cut pizza, but a lot of people don't know that this is mainly a St. Louis tradition. I've been told by well-known sources, mainly myself, that this helps to keep the crust stiffer and stronger for St. Louis style toppings.
I think the toppings are the best part of the pizza and could never do just plain cheese. I like to load my pizza with as many toppings as possible. I recently got back from Indiana and realized just how small and finely diced they made their toppings.
St. Louis style pizza has bigger chunks of their toppings though, which is generally why less cheese is used as well. Provo cheese is used here while other cities use mozzarella.
Honestly though, what I would like right now more than anything else is some St. Louis style barbecue.
Oh, that sounds good. How is St. Louis style barbecue different than any others? We got to say Chicago style is pretty good itself.
I've done some research on this because I love food so much, but basically St. Louis style's big difference from other places is the fact that we grill our meat directly on the grill, giving it that charred taste that we have come to love so much. Other cities like to grill their meat over indirect heat, giving it a smoky taste, and without the blackened parts of the meat where the grill was in contact. Also, St. Louis style barbecue uses a sauce that is much sweeter in general than what other cities use.
You seem to know a lot about barbecue.
In case you couldn't tell, I kind of like to eat. I would recommend that everyone go out and try Super Smoker's barbecue. The ribs are amazing, and I have never had better pork and chicken nachos. But after some barbecue, I can always go for dessert. And you know the best place for that?
St. Louis's own Ted Drew's. There are only 3 locations in the city right now, and according to Ted Drew's himself, he has declined to take the franchise citywide.
Recently, the chain was named one of the 33 best ice cream shops in the country. I think it is well worth the effort to go out and try.
I've never had it, honestly, but I have always heard good things about it, though apparently the lines can get kind of long sometimes. And I know plenty of people who have bought Ted Drew's famous Christmas trees in the winter as well. They seem just to have a little something for everyone.
I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with my chocolate chip cookie dough. It's a classic, and I get it every time I go to Ted Drew's. It's the perfect place to go on a hot summer evening.
Oh, we could use that right about now. It is also a perfect place to go after catching a ball game.
You're exactly right, Mariah. And speaking of ball games, let's head on over to Jarena Ball as she tells us about St. Louis and its rich sporting history.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jarena Ball, live with STL TV. I'm here to not only talk about all sports in general, I'm talking about growing up Gateway with the sports we love. We fell in love with major sports teams such as the Cardinals, aka the best baseball team ever in Missouri, Blues hockey, and even some college basketball, such as the St. Louis University Billikens men's and women's basketball team. After the Rams left St. Louis for Los Angeles, there have been rumors circulating about a Major League Soccer team coming to St. Louis. What we don't know is St. Louis is already home to a soccer team, the St. Louis Football Club. Founded in 2014, the St. Louis Football Club made its first inaugural debut against Louisville City on March 28, 2015. With a roster of 30 talented men from the U.S. and all around the world, this team has been known for scoring goals and bringing excitement to fans at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. So far this season, with a record of 8 wins and 9 losses, the St. Louis Football Club hopes to improve their record as they take on the Swope Park Rangers at home this Wednesday, August 3rd at the Worldwide Technology Soccer Park in Fenton, Missouri. As you see, they are not only just a soccer team, but also a group of individuals who well represent the city of St. Louis. Up next, we have Taylor and Rissy on the street to ask a few St. Louisans about their high schools, plus some trivia as well. I'm Jarena Ball, and we'll be back with more Growing Up Gateway.
Hey guys, I'm Taylor.
Hi, and I'm Mauricia.
And we're out here today in the Delmar Loop. If you didn't already know, a commonly asked question here in St. Louis is, so what high school are you from?
It is very clear that some sort of judgment is made after hearing the response.
So we're out here today asking different people what they think about certain schools, as well as some trivia to see what they actually really know. So let's get started.
What high school did former St. Louis Cardinal player David Priest graduate from? A, SLU High School, B, Lafayette, or C, Kirkwood?
If I had to guess, it would be Lafayette.
Woo! Ding, ding, ding! We have a winner!
Oh, he went to Lafayette. I don't even need answers. He went to Lafayette.
Which high school is ranked #1 in basketball? Is it A, Chaminade, 2, CBC, or 3, DeSmet?
I'm going to guess A. I'm going to say DeSmet. 3.
3. You actually got it right. It's Chaminade.
Yeah.
I went to North Tech. It's a technical high school. You can go there and learn a trade like I guess all of the surrounding high schools in the North County area. I guess they went there half day. I don't know how to describe it, but that's the high school I went to. It was like going to all the schools in one, I guess you can say.
That's all we have for now. I'm Mauricia Anderson.
And I'm Taylor Jackson.
But Anthony and Taylor will be back on the street later to find out how much people from the Lou know about their city.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Growing Up Gateway. I'm Lindsay Fafoglia, and next up on the show we are going to discuss one of my favorite topics, other than the toasted raviolis of course, the fame and fashion that originates right here in STL. From writers like Maya Angelou and T.S. Eliot to musicians like Chuck Berry, Tina Turner, Sheryl Crow, Akon, and of course Nelly. Even though we are located in the Midwest, it really is possible to make it big from the Lou. The fashion industry is also on the rise here in STL. With the founding of St. Louis Fashion Week in 2006, designers and models have had a local platform to market their products and careers. Former Victoria's Secret angel and one of Vogue Paris's top 30 models of the decade. Klaus graduated from Webster Groves High School and was discovered right here in St. Louis. And today, we have another model who grew up Gateway, Miss Hannah Sides. Welcome, Hannah. Thanks so much for being here. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good, thank you. So you're from St. Louis. Where are you from?
I'm from the South County area. I went to Melville High School, so kind of the Lindbergh area.
Okay, and you were discovered here?
I was, yeah. I was 13 years old, and I was discovered at my brother's baseball game, so that was interesting. He always likes to remind me about that.
He's the, reason for your success.
Yeah, totally. Just him, though. That's
it. So what was that like being so young?
I think it had its advantages and disadvantages. I did stay in school throughout, so it really helped me kind of like grow into my own, and to be able to walk into a room and introduce myself to people really helped with. I was never really shy, but it kind of just like catapulted my personality, I guess.
So who discovered, like what agency?
West Model Management, Gail and Sutton Lassiter. They approached me. I was really young, and my mom and dad were a little skeptical at first, but they let me pursue it, so I was able to start at a pretty young age and kind of just grow from there.
That's awesome. So you were like all in from the start?
Yeah, I was. It's kind of hard when you start because kind of at an awkward age, 14-year-olds don't really do kids, but they don't really do juniors. So I was kind of just doing a lot of commercial work to start, and then I started, once I got taller, I started runway, and that was really where career took off.
That's awesome. So have you walked in St. Louis Fashion Week?
Yes, I have. I think 2007 was my first year. So that was really cool because they have a lot of local designers too, and then people would also come in from out of town. So it was great exposure, and it was a great way to kind of meet people in the network here.
That's so cool. And then you told me that you went to New York after high school. So elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, so when I was 17, I signed with DNA Models, and I finished my last year of high school. So then it's like the day after I graduated, I just couldn't wait any longer. So I went to New York, and I lived there for 2 years to put full effort into it.
That's awesome. Did you live alone, or did your mom come with you? Or?
My first month, yeah, I actually lived with my aunt. My aunt and cousins live there. They live in Long Island, so I would commute into the city. So that was super convenient. And then I ended up living in Manhattan a couple months later with 2 other girls, and they ended up being my 2 best friends. So.
Oh, very fun. Who did you model for in New York?
I did a lot of Fashion Week. I worked with Carmen Mark Valvo a lot, Jean-Baptiste Valli. I did a bunch of their runway and their showrooms. And then like commercial-wise, I did Abercrombie. I did a lot of brides magazines. That was fun. Got a wedding dress already picked out. And I did a bunch of work with Nike, Adidas, some Colgate, Pantene, all that good stuff. Yeah.
And do you think your St. Louis roots have helped you in any way with your career?
Yeah, no, I think it's actually taught me, like, it's true, the Midwest values. I do feel that people are a lot more friendly, that are actually willing to help you and teach you to learn. Not saying everyone in New York is that way, but I think it's really helped in my personality and kind of developing that relationship with clients to keep booking me.
That's great to hear. Thank you so much, Hannah, for being here, and good luck with all of your future endeavors.
Thank you.
And up next on Growing Up Gateway, Ishmaya and Taylor are going to be taken into the streets to talk to local St. Louisians in Forest Park. So stay tuned. I'm Lindsay Fafoglia, and I'll see you next time on Growing Up Gateway.
Hi, I'm Taylor. And I'm Ishmaya. And today we're in Forest Park to see what our local St. Louisans know about St. Louis. Let's go.
Cotton candy?
Yes. Okay. Okay, what is the largest beer producing company in the nation?
InBev.
No. It's here in St. Louis.
Anheuser-Busch.
There you go.
Which is owned by InBev.
Blues, St. Louis blues. I love blues. Yeah, I work with all the artists in St. Louis. I do all their CDs and DVD duplicating and all that stuff, and I've worked with every artist from Chuck Berry to Nelly and everyone in between.
The state's musical instrument? Oh, wow. A banjo? No. An accordion? Fiddle. All right.
The Billikens. No. No, I don't know that. The Surge? Okay.
Can you name one famous actor from St. Louis?
John Hamm.
There you go.
guys, that concludes our segment for today on Men in the Street here in Forest Park. Again, I'm Taylor.
And I'm Ishmaya.
And we see you guys next time. Bye.
St. Louis is a growing city that is rich in culture, and music is a big part of that culture, with strong roots in the blues. The Lou happens to be home to many notable musicians like Chuck Berry, Ike Turner, and Miles Davis. Today, we have another blues musician who happens to be from St. Louis himself, Tyler Stokes of Delta Soul Revival. Welcome back to the show. I've got Tyler Stokes with me. Tyler, tell me about your music.
Well, my music is kind of up in the air. I do a lot of different things, but Delta Soul, which is my main project, I like to say it's blues rock with a dash of Latin and soul. So there's, it's based in the blues and rock, but it's less on the countryside and more kind of like New Orleans, like Neville Brothers funk side. I like to dance, so you know what I mean.
I like to dance too.
Well, that's good. You should come see the band then.
I think I'll do that. Who or what inspires your music?
Oh, man, lots of things. I think I kind of narrow it down to, vocally I really love artists like Marvin Gaye and Al Green and things like that. And music-wise, lots of rhythms. Rhythm is really important to me on how you build a song. Obviously, melody is the most important, but I love listening to all types of music, from new hip-hop to old kind of jazz and things, and really taking the rhythms that I see, and that's kind of how I get the ideas and start, with the songs. As in melody and lyrics and things, it's just life. It's just kind of what goes with the atmosphere of the song and living. Figuring out this whole crazy thing of life at one day at a time, you know what I mean?
Now, how did you first start your journey in music?
Well, when I was about 10 or 11, I got really into classic rock. My parents had a lot of vinyls growing up, so I would just listen to a bunch of that. And I went and saw the band Leonard Skinner. They were like my first obsession. And I came back and started playing music, and came back and started playing guitar, and then would like write a little bit and had some like rock bands and things in the garage. And then I really started playing blues, and I played my first professional gig when I was I sat in when I was 13, and then the next week I turned 14. So I played my first professional gig when I was 14 down at Hammerstones, actually, in Soulard.
Okay.
And so I did that with a guy named Marquise Knox, and then went through the journey through having a band in high school and doing that for about 3 or 4 years, and then going to college, and I actually majored in music therapy as well. So when I was doing that, I started Delta Soul Revival, and that's my project right now.
So tell us more about Delta Soul Revival. Who else joins you in that group?
Well, we've since I started in college, I moved around a lot, but finally we have a really great stagnant group of fantastic musicians. We actually have 2 brothers that play all over town, Justin Corgan on bass and Jake Corgan on piano, and he sings a lot too. He's an amazing singer. And then the newest addition, who's not really new anymore, but Chuck Smotherson, who's a fantastic drummer around town. And they all play professionally for a bunch of different bands all over.
Awesome. So what can we expect from you guys in the future?
Well, we're working on, I believe we're recording our full-length EP. We do have an EP called Witness that's on iTunes and Spotify and all that good stuff, so you can check it out. And we're going to do our first full-length, 10 or 11 songs in the fall. Devin Allman's going to produce it, who's Greg Allman's son of the Allman Brothers, and tours all over. And that's you can't ask for a better
That's exciting.
Yeah, he's kind of been like a mentor to me. So we're doing that, and we tour the region. We play Memphis and St. Louis and Columbia, Casey, all around. We've actually done a small California tour as well. So just cranking, playing wherever we can, and just working our butts off. That's pretty much it.
Now, this question might be a little deep, but I'm pretty sure you can handle it.
Let's go there.
So, what is the message or the goal you're trying to achieve and put out into the world with your music?
I think that depends on the song. But I think positivity is the main thing on why we do music. And that doesn't mean that all your songs have to be happy, because you can actually get emotions from people through sadder songs and connecting with and having, it's like you have empathy with sadder songs with people. So I think just positivity is the main thing, and feeling good, whether it's like dancing or whether it's, you know, listening to a sad song or falling asleep to a song, you know. I think just emanating positivity.
Well, I love music. I think your music is very positive, and I think we've all enjoyed your music today. Thank you so much for joining us, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And we'll be back with more Growing Up Gateway right after this. Stay tuned.
I know you wonder, ain't nobody crying. While there ain't nobody here just yelling more. That's 'cause you never been treated like a lady. The man that loves all your true self. Know how to know. You see us friends, but baby, better put on your glasses. Because the loving that we have won't come around being the message. That's why I said I love you, baby. But through thick and I'll bet on savings that I was gonna win. I was gonna win, yeah. That our love's gonna win. I know you're young, you don't have many rays. You haven't pinned it down and pushed around as much as me. You say you're looking for a perfect partner who will love you in all right ways. But the man that you love is staring you right in the face. You see us friends, baby, better put on your glasses. Loving that we have won't come around being the message. That's why I said I love you, baby. Through thick and I'll bet on savings that I was gonna win. I love you, baby. I'll bet on savings that I was gonna win. That I was gonna win, yeah. That our love's gonna win. That our love is gonna.
Wow, that was amazing. We've been having so much fun on the show, but unfortunately, that's all we've got for now. I'd like to thank our guests, Hannah Sides and Tyler Stokes, for joining us, and we'd like to thank everyone who's helped us with the show, and thank you to all of the interns here at STL TV for helping us to make this possible. You guys are so talented and amazing. And last but not least, I'd like to thank you, the viewers at home, for watching us and joining us on this journey. Until next time, I'm Kayla Johnson, and this is Growing Up Gateway.